All right, hi. Welcome to the BA information session. Today I'm here just to talk to you a little bit about how to get started at uni. We have some existing students as well to give you a bit of insight about what early weeks and your first semester will be like, and also to talk specifically about the BA and some of your options. So welcome to the College of Humanities, Arts and Social Sciences. I'll introduce myself in a moment, but before we do that, a couple of things to attend to. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge that we are meeting here today on Kaurna country and to pay my respects to elders past and present. And also to acknowledge the fact that we are streaming live across Adelaide at the moment, and there are people at home watching. To you in the room and, to you in the room and to people online at home, just scan this QR code. My colleague James here has established a Slido, so you can jump online, field your questions, or of course, if you're in the room, this is a rather informal session, so feel free just to pop your hand up or shout out and interject whenever you have a question to ask. So I think I only have, one colleague in the room today? So it's James. So James, maybe if you could just quickly introduce yourself in case people have questions for you.
Okay. Look, you may not, depending on what you're majoring in, but hi everyone, I'm James. I'm the discipline lead for history here at Flinders. I specialise in medieval history in particular in my research, but I teach everything from ancient Persia through to the French Revolution. So if any of you are teaching history at any point, you'll likely come across me or some of my amazing colleagues in the history discipline, but you'll be taught by a lot of people from across the entire College of HAS, and we're very excited to have you here. So welcome to HAS, and I'll hand back over to Eric.
Thank you, James. I am not Professor Kate Douglas, my colleague who prepared these slides and was expecting to speak to you today, but unfortunately she was unavailable. So I've stepped in as the understudy. Her colleague in English Literature, Associate Professor Eric Paraso. I teach, research and teach 18th and 19th century literature, but around here it's mostly literary history and the Gothic, for example. Doing a topic on vampires later this year. So you might want to keep an eye out for that. But a little bit about Kate. She works on children's literature. This is her in action, doing a book review with her daughter and a conference paper, and Kate in her natural habitat speaking about her work in a pub. So you'll find that most academics' natural habitats gravitate around alcohol. So today, two objectives, some general information about getting started, but then more specifically about the Bachelor of Arts degree. And as Kate has mentioned, you're entering an institution that has its own language, its own jargon, its own acronyms. So if you catch me using that kind of jargon and you have no idea what I'm talking about, just shout out, call me out, and ask me to explain. That will be no problem. All right, so Kate's asked me to share some information about just getting started, some of the essentials that you need. For example, making sure that you're connected to Wi-Fi. So the Wi-Fi network that you should be connected to is called EduRoam. As the name suggests, it kind of roams as you move from educational institution to educational institution. So some unis, that transition at some universities, not always that seamless, but theoretically, any university who's set up on the EduRoam system, you'll be able to access Wi-Fi through their network.
I believe that when we did this last year, Kate said that they've even had access EduRoam internationally, where they've taken trips.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. So it works internationally. So the way you would log in is using your username, which is your fan, and the format is the first four letters of your surname and 4 numbers after that. That's your fan, and then your Flinders password. So Does everybody have a fan? Have they had a fan assigned, and have you set up your password? Okay, so I'm realising before you get onto EduRoam, you'll need to make sure that you know what your fan is, set up that password, and then your next step will be jump on EduRoam to connect yourself to Wi-Fi. But there's a website there for more information. Support Computing Wi-Fi. Yes, Michael.
So if there's an issue with that, first floor of the library building, connect.
So just connect, yeah.
That shouldn't connect, but if you have any issues with that, just go and see them and I'll sort it out and you just get that.
Great advice. Thank you. Now, there's also a new student page for you guys. So if you're new to Flinders University and you're just getting started, this has information on how to enrol, how to register in your classes. And as you can see, it just takes you through step by step. Welcome, your offer for your degree, the details, study plan, enrolment, orientation. So if you haven't had a look at that, then I strongly suggest that you jump on and have a look, and maybe many of your questions will be answered there.
The same place, you can go to Flinders Connect as well if you're having difficulty with that. I know I had to.
Okay. Okay, great. So just to repeat that, Flinders Connect is your kind of go-to place in terms of a physical place where there are real people there. It's on level 1 of the library. I always forget which.
The big wood sign. Yes.
Yep.
The play button looking thing.
Okay, yeah. So there's the library, and then you've got this big grand hub, and kind of in between on level 1 is where Flinders Connect is.
Just in terms of student support and everything, we do have something called FUSA, which is in the student hub, and that's just for any general student concerns that you have. They can cater to that as well.
Fantastic. Thanks, Hope. Yeah, question.
Just go back to the Wi-Fi. I think it's actually your fan and then at Flinders, not just your fan. That didn't work for me to open my app.
Yeah, I had the same issue too. It didn't work with just my fan, but then I put at Flinders for edu.
At flinders.edu.au?
And then it was happy.
Okay, all right, great. So it's your fan at flinders.edu.au. Okay, thanks for clarifying.
Questions.
Oh yeah, the questions. Yeah, okay, thank you. So if you have any questions, of course, feel free to just jump on in, but I'll pass you the microphone. Oh, you sure? Yeah. Just to make sure so the people at home can hear the question and answers. So a little bit about Flinders Connect. Of course, I told you where they are physically, but you can call them on this number, option 2. Has everybody got their student ID card yet? Yep, some of you? Yep, some of you not so much? Okay. So here's perhaps a little bit of jargon. Are you familiar with your Okta dashboard yet? Yep, it's your kind of online one-stop shop for all the apps and services that you need. Apparently, there's a button that looks exactly like that on yours saying order my ID card. So if you haven't done that yet, that's the place to do it. Jump in your Okta dashboard and click there and follow the prompts, I presume. And you have the option of having your card posted when you go to make your order. So, how to actually get started studying. Step 1, enroll in topics. So you log into your student system, you select the My Enrollment tab. Apparently there's a declaration that you need to agree to. Scroll down and you'll see some topics available for your course. And you can place a tick next to the topics that you want to enroll in. Save those changes, and then you move on to registering for classes within those topics, so seminars and tutorials. If you're not familiar with the fact that some topics are rather large, right? So within those there are 3 or 4 different groups and tutorials and seminars at different times, and you just select which one is most convenient for you. Again, you log into the student system, you select the My Timetable tab as opposed to My Enrollment. Select the study period. By that we just mean semester 1 or semester 2. For most topics. There are some topics, called non-semester 1 or non-semester 2, and they're summer or winter intensives, or basically they just don't quite fit the dates of semester 1 and semester 2. But the large majority of your topics will be just semester 1 or semester 2. So that's what we mean by study period. Select change or register for each topic. Click on the plus sign to select the class, and again, save your changes.
This is not necessarily the most intuitive process. So if you need help, you can come and ask us. We should be able to do that, or you can go to somewhere like Flinders Connect.
Yeah, great. If you're not aware, we have some existing students at the front, and I will invite them to speak a little later. But yes, they're doing a great job of just jumping in and giving you the ground level advice that's required.
The enrollment system can be very confusing. Very confusing. I don't know if you've seen UniSA or Adelaide Uni. The enrollment system is very different to Flinders. So it can be quite intimidating to enroll in topics the very first time you do enroll in topics.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
We'll say on that later.
Well, there are changes afoot, I believe, around that as well. Okay, so once you're in your topic, you'll have what we call FLOW. That's an acronym for Flinders Learning Online. It's basically the online learning management system. We use a platform called Canvas. I understand that Canvas is actually pretty common in a lot of high schools these days. So if you did use Canvas at your high school, the basics of the setup should be pretty similar. But you'll hear Canvas and Flow used interchangeably. Basically around here, they just mean the same thing. So for access, you go to canvas.flinders.edu.au, and your topics will appear published and live on your dashboard 7 days before the start of the class. So that means for your semester 1 classes, your topics are live now on your Canvas dashboard. Question?
Is there more than 7 days till our classes commence?
So that's a question about whether it's more than 7 days until our classes commence. Could be in some cases, yeah.
Could be, but I guess day 1, semester 1 is next Monday. So I'm guessing most of the topics will appear. Yeah.
But you may not have a class next Monday. It may not be till next Thursday, depending on.
Okay. To find out more about, so perhaps you have no experience of Canvas and you're finding it a little daunting, you can register for a session on Introduction to Flow and textbooks via the orientation planner, and there's the website there. So that'll give you a nice little introduction on how to use our Flow management system. Okay, I wanted me to point out that there are scholarships available here at Flinders University, and also that you don't necessarily need to be a top-performing elite student. It really just depends on the conditions of the scholarship. For example, there might be scholarships reserved for women only, or for Indigenous students only, or scholarship schemes that want to encourage a particular demographic of students. So regional students, there you go, fantastic. Great. So don't just presume that you won't qualify or you're not up to that level. That's not what those scholarships are about. Jump on at some point, have a look, and perhaps you might get a small scholarship to top up your existing levels of income that might help you to perform better. But I encourage you just to have a look and don't rule yourself out immediately. Transport. Okay. You can get here by car. Plenty of parking, provided, my proviso is that you get here before 10:30. Would you say about that earlier?
Earlier.
At what point do you get to campus and say, okay, we're really going to struggle to find a car park? 9:30?
Yeah.
All right.
Humanities car park.
Depends where you want to park.
Oh, no.
So the Humanities car park, which is where you have majority of your classes, if you drive here, that car park will get completely booked out by 10 o'clock, 9:30 max.
Yeah, earlier.
So get here early.
Most of the parking on the outside of campus, that fills out really fast. So you'll end up parking in you know, come up to, which is at the top of the mountain.
We call it Siberia. Siberia. It's like
yes.
Basement.
But it'll keep you fit. There's a nice little incline when you're on the way home, right? So, and there is shelter underneath the solar panels there. So there are advantages for getting up there. But if you get here a bit mid-morning, then you'll have to head up there. But if you need a parking permit, then you can apply for one online. There is the train from the city into Flinders railway station, which is something that has been built in the last few years. It takes 22 minutes from the CBD. Who would be coming down from town using the train line? Anyone? Yep. Have you used it before? Yep. Works great. All good? Yep.
As it looks, then there's the loop buses as well that are related to that. Because you notice the train is in bottom of the mountain, we are at the top of the mountain. So, the loop bus is like a little shuttle bus that runs back and forth to bring you up, so you don't have to walk.
There was talk at one point of a monorail, right? But it was a very fleeting conversation. So yes, there is a loop bus that a little kind of mini bus that connects different points of the campus. So the Bedford Park campus to the Sturt campus, across the gorge, down to the train station, and all the way around campus. So you can download, and Tonsley as well. Yes.
There's act for that as well. So the Will and Good Shelter, which are the people who run the little loop buses, they have an app where you can track them around.
Yep.
Because some of them take like 20 minutes to get around the loop, and sometimes it's not worth waiting. So.
Yes. So download the Bus Minder app, and that'll help you. And then there's buses around campus and into town. You can catch, there are bus stops at Registry Road, Flinders Medical Centre, and University Drive. Check Adelaide Metro for timetables and routes, but that takes about 40 minutes. Security. Okay, so we have security officers on campus 24 hours a day via the hotline telephones. I would suggest taking that number and just punching it into your phone. Not that I'm expecting anything bad to happen to you. It's a pretty safe campus. But I find I have it on the phone, and occasionally for a staff member like me, I haven't really had to report or deal with any issues where I felt my safety was in danger. But I have a couple of times seen some animals who have been in distress or injured, and I've actually called security to organise, called wildlife services to come out. And we academics are very forgetful. We always lock ourselves out of our rooms because we leave the keys.
Speak for
yourself. But so it's not just about your personal security or security of those around you. For other services as well, emergency situations, perhaps when you need kind of emergency services from outside of campus. You can call them directly, but then also call security to let them know what's going on, and they can help facilitate emergency services. Even if you spot a snake, you will see occasionally little signs around campus saying snakes sighted recently here or something like that. Yes.
Triangle signs.
Yes. So if you spot a snake, let security know, and they'll put up a little sign warning everyone else that there was a snake around here just 10 minutes ago.
Anyone here staying on campus, like living on campus? Yeah. So they also say that you can ring security if you're like walking around at night and you don't feel safe. Any of those sorts of instances, you can ring security and they can come and walk with you, take you back to the accommodation or around back to your car if you're studying late at night.
Fantastic. Especially when daylight savings ends, it'll be darker earlier. So yes, you can call security for that kind of assistance too. But my tip is to just punch that number into your phone so you have quick access to it if you need it. Similarly, if you witness or experience unacceptable behaviour or harassment and you'd like to make a confidential report, you're welcome to. A slightly different number, but you can search Safety on Campus at flinders.edu.au to lodge a testimony online, or an email, studenteo@flinders.edu.au, or the phone number 8201 2118. As it says here, making a report doesn't necessarily initiate a complaint, but it's the first step to offer you confidential support and information on what you can do next and what your options are from that point onwards. So safety on campus is all of our responsibilities. So I just want to encourage that if you witness poor behaviour or unsafe behaviour towards one of your colleagues or even a stranger that you happen to be around in proximity, then I'd urge you to help out by making a report of what you're seeing. That would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, you're on campus, you're feeling nice and safe, you know, you manage the traffic or the bus route, and now it's time to actually learn and you go, ooh, don't know what to do. Then we do have student learning support services here as well. They can provide one-to-one study support online or in person, and they're still located in the library, is that right? Yep.
Second level. So the level where the books are. So first time you walk in, it's just like a big open space where you can go and meet people. You have to climb up one level to get to books. And the student learning support service have a bunch of science there.
Great, yes, here we are. Learning Lounge, level 2 of the Central Library, and you can chat with a learning advisor. Now, the good thing about being a BA student is that you'll find a lot of the learning advisors are BA graduates, because BA graduates are the best writers on campus. So you'll be getting their kind of expertise, and many of them, will be able to sympathise or empathise with you a little more than perhaps a graduate of another degree. So like-minded people for you at the Learning Lounge. Not only do they help with assignments, but also from a lecturer's perspective, they can help you. I think it's useful if you come to uni and you realise that perhaps there's a particular skill that you're not that great at. Perhaps you might not be confident in your own writing skills. You've got the ideas, fantastic, your written expression, a bit wonky. You don't have to wait till you have an assignment or a draft to go to the Learning Lounge. Feel free to be proactive and approach them saying, before I have to write essays at the end of the semester, I know my expression needs a bit of help. So go to them if you need that kind of remedial assistance as well, just to brush up on skills that perhaps you feel need a bit of polishing. But you can book online, and they also have a suite of online resources at students.flinders.edu.au, support SLSS.
So that website there, I believe, is the one that has links to referencing guides, which are very, very helpful for everything. Yeah. Because I don't have anyone who know how to reference in like APA. Like, what do we use here? MLA, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. That was really scary for me. I know when I first came here. Both the student learning support service and their online guides are excellent for referencing.
Great. Yes.
I think they're from 10 till 2. Or 11 till 2.
From 10 till 2?
Okay.
There. Right. Anyway. But there's plenty online, and they are really great at their job. So by all means, use them. The library, well, we have several libraries. One at each main campus, Bedford Park, Sturt Precinct, Flinders Medical Centre, Tonsley Campus. And I didn't know this, we have one at Sydney Campus now. Wow, there you go. Now, can I suggest, right, here's something a bit old-fashioned. Can I suggest that you, early on, make sure that you become familiar with the process of how to find a physical book in the library and to borrow it, because I'll be frank, I have some students who get to the end of their degree and they boast to me and say, hey, guess what, Eric, I went through my whole degree and I didn't borrow one physical book, and it breaks my heart as a literature scholar. So there are plenty online, plenty of resources online, but sometimes there are things that you just need to go in and find physically, and the library staff can help you do that. So I reckon before it becomes a thing, and you're worried and you get nervous about it, just jump in, do it early, become familiar with the physical surroundings of the library and how to borrow a book off the shelf.
So if you'd like, when we lead you to the free lunch afterwards, if you'd like, come with me, I can show you the basics of the library, where you need to go to borrow books, how to retrieve them, how to find them, introduce you to the staff.
Is it free lunch?
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Awesome. Yeah, down later.
Books, what else could you want? And the library's always being, like, I know Eric said, oh, this is a bit of an old-fashioned thing, but just bear in mind the library's always actually being updated, and I think we've got one of the few university libraries left in the country that still buys books, and so we put in requests as lecturers sometimes, and they're like, yeah, sure, we'll buy that. Sometimes they buy the electronic version, sometimes they buy that plus a physical copy. So it's not stuff that's only been there since the 1970s. There is some actually really recent books in there as well from the last couple of years. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is true. As academics, we
In my experience, you can request a book to be sent to another campus as well.
Yeah.
So you can request that book from the library, and they'll send it to the other campus, let you know when it's ready for collection at that campus.
fantastic. So, yep. So you can request books from campus to campus, and I should add also, you might not be aware, but who travels through the city, goes or nearby. Because if you do, as a Flinders Uni student, you have reciprocal borrowing rights at the Bar Smith Library at Adelaide University. So you can use their collection. Just jump in, show your card, and they'll give you a library card for their library so you can access their library and resources as well.
Study at our city campus as well. So like if you live closer to the city and on days you're not at uni and you want to like study, you can actually go to the Flinders campus in the city and study there, and they'll let you just have to show your ID card, obviously.
Yeah.
And that with the library as well, it's really, really nice to go to the
Yeah,
library.
the city library is very nice.
Yeah,
That's
and
good.
in the library, so you can go and sit, and you're free of distractions from home, and all the books are around there for you to go and get reference material. It's so much easier.
Okay, good.
Adelaide Uni Library too, they have a beautiful reading room. Doesn't matter where you're from, you can go and sit in there and study all day. They will not care where you're from. And it's really nice. It's a really nice space. So
Yes.
you got lots of options for places to go and do some quiet study.
So the libraries are staffed 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. So, just feel free to walk up to one of the information desks and just say, hi, I'm brand new, I need help, go. and they'll be able to take you through the do's and don'ts of researching in the library. Some contact details there as well. Well-being is very important. Let's face it, studying sometimes can feel a little bit isolating, and you might not always be feeling at your best. So just a couple of services I want to point out. We have this resource called Better You. As I said, it's the gateway to well-being, and it connects you with resources and programs to support your physical, emotional, social, and spiritual health. Because, as it says here, you're not going to be able to do your best academically if you're not feeling your best physically, emotionally, and general well-being wise.
And because another note on that is your lecturers are very understanding of that. So it's not like a big
Glad to hear it.
thing. Yeah, like say if you come from high school or whatever, you can't ask for extensions, you can't do this whatever because you're not feeling very well because something's going on in your life or whatever. You can.
Yeah.
And the lecturers will, if there's something that they can't give you an extension for some reason or whatever, they'll be nice about it. But generally they'll be like, yeah, if you need a couple of days, go ahead. Don't be scared to ask for extensions if you're not doing so well.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff.
We actually appreciate it. We appreciate that kind of open dialogue.
Yeah.
So for those students who are a little apprehensive to do that, please don't, because it's only when you ask that you get to know what we really can do for you in terms of support and services and how we can help you through any tricky times. So there is a QR code there.
I'll just add to that as well, Eric, that we understand because we often feel the same way. Because we're living in the same world as you and experiencing different pressures, but a lot of the same ones, and so we get that life can be really hard sometimes. So please don't feel afraid to come and talk to us about any of that.
If you seek the help, it is there.
Yes. And we also have health counselling and disability services on campus. There's another QR code. So you can see a doctor or a nurse. You can make an appointment with a counsellor. You can have a chat with one of our disability advisors about a particular disability or medical condition that affects your capacity to learn in a particular way or particular circumstances. And you can establish what they call an access plan, which you can take to your subject or topic coordinators, and it stipulates a few conditions that a few allowances perhaps sent from disability services to the topic coordinators through you that just help you to manage whatever condition that you happen to be working with. But that's not the only thing there. So there are other kind of self-help resources as well. So contact them. Phone number's there, 9 to 5 weekdays. There's a email address for the counselling services, counselling@flinders.edu.au, and one for disability services, disability.services@flinders.edu.au. I also want to point out that we do have a after-hours crisis support line. So if you or your friends need immediate assistance, we have that line available to you, 1300 512 409, or you can SMS them on 0488 884 103. But again, just keep collecting your QR codes as we go along, and hopefully all the information will be at your fingertips by the end of the session. And we also just have this for kind of when you're, casual wellbeing support, the Oasis Student Wellbeing Centre. It's really just a drop-in space, as it says, a home away from home, somewhere to chill and unwind. It's open from 8 to 8, Monday to Friday. You get free tea and coffee. Now, one thing as a BA student you'll learn is that you become fantastic at being a freeloader, right? Free lunches, free teas, free coffees. You get to a PhD, expert status. Academic, right, you become a lifelong expert freeloader. I encourage this kind of behaviour. So you get free tea and coffee at Oasis, but there are other facilities, prayer rooms, musical instruments, board games, just a space for you to take a breath and unwind. Do we have a location for Oasis these days? Is it?
Yeah, I'll walk this past it.
Yep.
Probably go back down to the free lunch.
Yeah, I feel like it's moved around a bit in the last few years. Now we've kind of lost track as to where it is. Okay, but yeah, again, another QR code there for you as well. Any international students in the room or at home? Well, you should know that there is, if you are out there, you should know that there is an office dedicated to international student services, because international students do experience particular challenges when coming and starting at Flinders University, and this is an office and a team that are very sensitive to those challenges. So they'll be able to answer questions not just about your studies, but also just about adjusting to life at Flinders and in Adelaide. And that means even just teeing you up with other international students to help develop your social network. So if any of you out there are in this situation, please get in touch. I urge you to get in touch with the International Student Services just to say hi and let them know that you're there, and perhaps they'll surprise you into what they can do for you to help you settle into your new life. And if there are Indigenous students with us today, you should know that we have a similar office or service, Yungurindi, which is a name given to us by Kaurna elders, which means to impart knowledge, to communicate, and to inform. And they offer similar support, helping you with your social network, for advocating for you, study skills, free tutoring, financial support, accommodation, the whole gamut of student life in Adelaide and at Flinders University. So you can get in touch with them on the QR code, the phone number 8201 3033, or that email address. And if you are career curious, they're already thinking about jobs, we do have a career hub on campus, helps you with resources, maybe setting up a CV, job application review services. They'll be able to just tell you perhaps what kind of work might be out there for your skill set and your qualifications to help you with that next step.
I think the current BA has core topics in the later years that focus on
They
careers
do.
specifically. That's your introduction to our leadership. Like this, in education, work and benefit one. There's one that's specifically exploring future career options, building a portfolio and a resume.
That'll happen in your second year. Third year is when you start. We're focusing on placement, and in the first week of your week back, they come talk to you about placement.
If you're doing something that does placement.
Well, yeah. So it's
It's
quite diverse. I just had the conversation with them, and with the BA, placement is quite tricky in terms of what you are looking to do when you finish uni. So they offer two options. You can either do placement within the university, or you can go off on your own and do placement and have support from the university. So that's something you worry about though later on down the track.
Yes. I mean, it's great to be curious and to think about the next step, but can I just add that give yourself time to be academically curious too. That's the one beautiful thing about the BA, that many of you will come here thinking that you perhaps have an idea of what you want to study, but then there's so many other options available to you. Feel free to allow yourself to be curious and to take something that perhaps is out of your comfort zone to learn a little bit about it. My advice is find your passion first, and once you find your passion, the career will follow. And just some advice from Kate: make the most of orientation. So perhaps, a list of action items for you to think about this week. Log into Flow. Just have a look at what's there. See if you can get the basic navigation down before semester one. There is a Finding Your Way at Flinders orientation topic on Flow. So there's an incentive there to help you get the most out of O Week and just become familiar with how Flinders and the university works, and there are a few videos and support services there. So we've got O Week this week, and there's the Welcome Hub, but we also have other kind of social activities, campus walking tours, fearless buggy tours. I don't even know what that is yet.
It's like on the, around the lake, there's that big ring road with asphalt. They're driving monkeys around that. And we'll rest your legs for a bit.
All right, sounds fun. There are fairs, there are social events, lots of tables of clubs and societies spruiking what they do. By all means, come on campus a few times at least this week and just explore what's around. And again, more freebies. Next week, week one of semester one, we call Connect Week. And there'll be further activities in the hub. There's a market day, there'll be quiz nights, I'm guessing at the tavern perhaps, plaza picnics, Sunset Cinema, that's always a popular one, on the big TV, that's on the student hub. A bit of a backstory, don't know if many of you know that at University of Adelaide, they had to put in a big TV, and when we put in ours, we just had to make sure that ours was just a touch bigger. And then Adelaide changed theirs again too. Crazy. Conversation, live music, DJs, there's lots happening. So plenty of reasons to be on campus during your first 2 weeks of university life in O Week and Connect Week. Because believe it or not, I'm guessing when you get to my age, you're actually going to remember being in this room on this day. Shock horror. I hope the memory is a positive one, but it's a special time O Week, so give yourself a chance to come in and enjoy it as much as you can. Here are some key dates for semester one. When you start studying, we have O Week and Connect Week. March the 14th, so that's the Friday of week 2. That's the last day to enrol in topics, so make sure you get your enrolment settled then. The 4th of April is census date. Now, that basically means it's the last day you can withdraw from a topic without incurring fees. 16th of May, week 9, the last day to withdraw without failure. And if you have exams, they're the key dates, 23rd of June to 4th of July. And hopefully you won't need semester 1 deferred or supplementary assessment, but that's in July too.
The census date has nothing to do with the census. The name is very confusing at the start. It doesn't. So that's just, if you withdraw from the topic after that, you'll be charged fees, even if you don't finish the topic.
Yep.
So,
Okay. Also, keep up with what's going on. Keep an eye out for Ping. It's an e-newsletter that you'll get. You can follow our socials on Instagram and Facebook. And I think Hope mentioned earlier, join FUSA, the Flinders University Student Association. They're located, do they have an office they're located?
Yeah,
Yep.
so, where the library is, what's the first floor? Right where Connect is.
Yeah, first one.
So right where the Connect is, in the library across is FUSA in the hub. And like if you have any concerns regarding your topics, teachers, literally anything, there's so many services there that you can use, and like there's student advocacy people there, so like it's a really good service, and I would utilise it while you're here 100%.
And if you don't know where to go, FUSA is a good place to start.
Yeah.
Flinders Connect and FUSA, one of them will know where to send you. So okay, we'll take you past there on our way back down. So we might need it soon.
Okay. So, conscious of time, I just want to move on to the fact that you're here for a BA information session. So let's talk about the BA for a little bit. You'll notice that Kate's meme game is quite strong. Lots of memes
Yes.
In these slides. So the BA is the world's oldest and the best degree. You are, I agree with Kate here, you're taking the best BA in South Australia at the moment. One that's taught by a wide array of award-winning lecturers and tutors with international reputations such as my friend here, James. And I think the rest is pretty much self-explanatory, except the fact that I think you heard at the session this morning that ducks are Flinders' kind of unofficial mascot. So keep an eye out for the ducks, look after them, little families that they just wander here and there and everywhere.
The other uni is a journalist that we have ducks.
Yes. And if you jump on our socials, you'll see it's a big deal. The ducks appear.
We have koalas too. I always think that's the most interesting.
Yes. Everyone's got koalas in Adelaide. No, just kidding. Course info. So if you don't know what's available, jump on this link, Bachelor of Arts. Let's have a quick look, as Kate advises. Here's the majors and minors available to you. I won't read them all, but plenty of options. And again, I encourage you just to kind of indulge your academic curiosity and see where it takes you. And you might find a new passion and a new direction.
There's a link to the student handbook, which is yeah.
Yeah. So let's say, for example, since James is here, we'll do history.
Oh, that's good. That's not bad.
That's what my handbook.
That's not quite the
Now
handbook.
you can find the student handbook on the Compass though. There's also something called Compass, which is really good too. It's
Have a
got everything
blind
you need.
choir.
How do you explain Compass?
I don't know. I don't use Compass. I barely even know it exists.
Yeah,
Michael knows.
When you first log on to your username and password, it'll take you to a page that says log into Canvas, and that'll take you to all the sites. Compass. That'll take you to all the sites you need. Click on OTCA, it'll take you to a whole range of all the links to the uni.
But the student handbook is the first.
Yeah, and the student handbook's there. Printing credit, flow, it's all in the one spot. Your email thing is all there. So Compass and then Otka. And then if they're all there, there's about 25 different, everything you need to know about everything is there.
I think you can just Google the student handbook and it will show up.
Yeah, you can do that too.
The handbook tells you what topics you need to enroll in to pass your degree. So, because one of the annoying things about the enrollment thing is that it doesn't say, like, it doesn't automatically pop up with all of the topics you need for your major and minor.
Yeah.
So you have to check them against the student handbook to make sure you've got the right ones.
Again,
You actually get
And you have to make sure they're like first year topics too, because like you won't know unless it's told to you. So you could accidentally enroll in like a second year topic, and then when you go to press enroll, it'll be like, oh no, sorry, and then you have to go back to the process away.
it can be a tad frustrating. It's not 100% intuitive either. It's a bit, I'm trying to find about history topics, whatever. It's just, it takes a bit of exploration to find out just what is what on the handbook site. It's not 100% intuitive.
If you're struggling in that regard, so disconnect their enrollment people.
And the academics, right? The academics know what they're teaching and what they're not teaching. So, feel free to just pop in and say, you need help planning, and we can tell you about the topics that are available and how they work together.
Student handbook. Yeah, that's what you need.
So, Hope mentioned that there is a kind of BA core as part of your study program. A topic called Arts 1001, taken by Kate, and that's called Truth and Knowledge in a Changing World. It's an introduction to different knowledge systems and how we might use them to respond to real-world problems. So basically, it's an introduction also to a variety of BA disciplines as well. Arts 2002, which is called Education, Work and Identity. This is developed to help you develop an understanding of the role of education and especially the BA in shaping work futures, or the future of work in whatever shape or form that might look like. And Arts 3001 with Associate Professor Giselle Baston, it's called Professional and Academic Futures. So that's helping you to synthesize your knowledge and skills that acquired in your degree for application in real world contexts or as preparation for further ongoing study, hence professional or academic futures. So they're the three core topics that you'll be all taken together. So hopefully it's a chance for you to develop a kind of nice social network amongst you as you work through those. And those topics, although they have individual coordinators, many staff from the disciplines across the BA will be floating in and out. So it'll give you a good opportunity to connect with perhaps some of the disciplines that you haven't had much of a chance to connect with.
In Arts 2001, for example, they get in every week. You'll have someone from different disciplines come in and talk to you about, what they do in their discipline, what the things they're concerned with. Like, if you have any questions.
The whole point of that topic is to help you determine your major and minor. Because when you do a BA, you'll be looking at a major and a minor. That topic helps you figure out what your major and minor will be. And you might change your major and minor multiple times throughout the topic. But it just gives you an idea because it will show, it sort of determines what you want to major, what you want to minor in, and then you go from there. Yeah.
You hear people talking, so, this is interesting. Yeah. You can go and have a look at it, take a topic in it, don't like it, don't do it again.
Just quickly, so as you gather, we have existing students in the room. Maybe if I could just quickly hear from some of you in relation to these questions, and maybe you can choose one. Tell the rest of the group what the first couple of weeks looks like from a student perspective, or what does the semester as a whole look like in terms of the ebbs and flows of the weeks ahead?
Finding rooms. Trying to find out where the hell you're going is one of my biggest challenges, and having to use a lift, trying to work out how to get the rooms via lift took me a while. But so the first couple of weeks is overload. It's also very exciting. meeting new people and listening to academics speak and getting yourself organised. But you're pretty busy, and make sure you don't put things off. What does the whole semester look like? Again, being I'm only a part-time student, and so for me it was pacing myself, so not leaving things to the last minute. Again, it goes quicker than you think, and there are breaks during the semester so you can catch your breath.
Break on a holiday.
Yeah, so it's a fun time. You'll find it very different from school in some regard, but similar in others. But it's good fun. But the first couple of weeks is pretty exciting and takes a while just to get your head around it.
Okay, yeah, one more perspective. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. So generally the semester as a whole, first semester is pretty well paced because it's 6 weeks, then you got a 2-week break where you just keep working on things. You don't have classes. That's why it's a break. And then another 6 weeks. Second semester, looking ahead there, that's a bit of a doozy. So that's 8 weeks, then a 2-week break, then 4 weeks. Yeah. And all those, it was wacky. And you think second semester is worse than first. Which you think from school terms you'd be used to 10 weeks in a row. For some reason it's infinitely more tiring in uni. You were by week 7, 8, you've just sort of everyone, including your lecturers, are all yeah, everyone's just sort of oh, really?
Don't worry.
Well, it's still interesting, but everyone sort of falls in a heap then. And again, your lecturers know because they feel the exact same way.
Good with that.
Yeah.
Like they kind of say, if you want in the last few weeks, you can attend online because they know you're probably tired. So
they know you're probably tired, so they're really good like that. And just with classes and stuff, there's an app called Lost on Campus. It's a really good app. It'll help you get to your classes.
So, yeah, we told the people who came and saw that earlier.
Yeah.
If there's anyone else who didn't come.
Lost. What's it called? Lost on Campus. Yeah, really good app. Yeah.
With the logo. And also you can just ask around people. Might know, might not know. But at least being confused together is better than being confused on your own.
So how about we tackle one question each? Hope, starting with you. What's your favourite thing about uni?
My favourite thing about uni probably is just the freedom of being able to do what you want. So obviously for those of you that are just coming from high school, you don't really get a choice so much in what subjects you want to do and yada 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 and all that sort of stuff. In uni, there's such an array, especially in the BA, there's such an array of topics that you can choose from that really target your interests. So I really like that about uni. And also I find that the lecturers here and the topic coordinators are really, really supportive. And I've had a lot of support throughout my course duration. So I would say those are my favorite thing.
Okay.
I'm doing one by each. Least favorite thing. Okay. No. My personal beef is with online lectures, which is, that's probably going to be pretty contentious. But I'm not a big fan of, so some topics have lectures specifically online that are pre-recorded that you watch. No, I don't like them. I'm very much a fan of coming in the classroom, being able to see your lecturer, being able to ask questions, all that sort of thing. And even some of the hybrid topics where they do some online lectures and then have some stuff on campus. Yeah, they're better than just straight online topics, but I'm still not a big fan of the online lectures, which is not a Flinders-specific problem, but that's a PSA. If you can come in person, if your commute is forgiving enough, when you have in-person topics, come to them because they're so much better.
You also get graded on participation as well. So in some topics, topic coordinators will really emphasize on participation. You have to come, otherwise they will give you a 0. So participation is very important for some topics.
Some topics, yeah.
Not all.
You're absolutely right, but we will never fail you for not coming. It's just that it's hard to participate. That's a bit wrong then. Sorry to hear about that, Hope. But we cannot mark you on whether or not you're in the room, but it is really hard to participate if you're not there. So it's just that if you're not there, you're less likely to be contributing, so the mark will be lower. But we absolutely, I'm just clarifying this from a policy perspective, we cannot mark you failed for not being here. it's a bit more complex than that. But yeah, Hope is right to stress the participation assessment in some topics. Yeah, sorry.
We'll just pass on to Michael, if we're conscious of time. How about you tackle one of these questions? Which
The third one's not really relevant to me because at my age, so I'll go the last one. Look, time management, everyone's different. And do what works for you, but I can just urge you not to leave things to the last minute. If that's your modus operandi in the past, it'll just get you into grief at uni. So make sure that you've got somewhere quiet to study at home or study at uni, and don't let things get on top, and don't delay things, and don't not come to lectures, as Kat was saying, and think you can watch all the lectures in the last week. That won't work. So time management, work out what works for you and follow it. You may not need to change anything at all.
Actually, on that sort of note, you may have seen in your assessment schedules, most BA topics don't have exams. So, I think most of them, or any of them.
Yes, most. Yep.
Almost all of them have no exams. That means that the main form of assessment is like long form pieces, like 2,500 word essays, which is supposed to be fully referenced and whatever. So that is the sort of thing you can't leave entirely to the last minute. You can't cram study for something like that.
When you get to your when you get to your second and third year, I started doing nearly 4,000 word essays. Like that, you cannot, even though you don't do exams in the BA, it compensates with assignments.